Welcome to Facebook Live on DilKeAawaz viewers. And I'll say your world can get completely tumultuous if your child gets sick. And I cannot even imagine the pain a parent goes through if they lose a loved one, or especially the child, to a disease or an accident. So our guests today have shown immense courage, strength, purpose, and a lot of grace in the face of extreme pain. And they will be talking about Mithil Prasad Foundation and the unimaginable tragedy and loss that they faced in their lives. We will be talking about DIPG, a rare form of brain cancer, with Sarva and Prasad. Welcome, Sarva and Prasad,
Thank
to
you.
DilKeAawaz.
Thank you. Welcome both of you again.
We are honored to have you
Yes.
back on DilKeAawaz again. And I will just read about Sarva. She is Mithil's mother and the president and co-founder of Mithil Prasad Foundation. And she's an engineer by profession and works for an automotive company in Silicon Valley. And her dream is to work full-time for the foundation one day. And we hope your dream comes true, because you both are doing such amazing work through Mithil Prasad Foundation.
Yep.
So welcome
Thank you.
once again.
Thank you. Welcome again. Before I introduce Prasad, I'm going to say, I read a quote. You must tell yourself, no matter how hard it is, how hard it gets, I'm going to make it. And you guys are trying your best, or you can say more than that, going out to outreach people, to get the resources, to get the funding for DIPG cancer. And kudos to you. Prasad, you are Mithil's father, and you are the treasurer, secretary, and co-founder of the Mithil Prasad Foundation. You are an engineer by profession, and you've been working for networking industry for over 20 years. And you hope to see a survivor for DIPG within your lifetime. So it will come true. No, you just have to have faith,
Yeah.
and you guys are trying your best in getting that out there.
Definitely.
So पहला क्वेश्चन से शुरू करना है
बिल्कुल
आप,
पहले से ही करेंगे.
क्वेश्चन तो आज क्या है, but this is
हाँ.
more of a talk today.
Exactly.
Then not more of questions, but from last time when we interviewed you, tell us what were your accomplishments for last year? This is the second year of Mithil
Yeah.
Prasad Foundation, right?
Yeah.
So tell us your accomplishments for last
We
year.
have founded the foundation in 2017 September.
Mhm.
Last year was our full year of fundraising.
Mhm.
We have raised about over 100K
Wonderful.
through few events.
Mhm.
So with that 100K, we have donated about 80K to one of the clinical study. Actually, that is through a PNOC, Pediatric Neuro-Oncology Consortium.
Mhm.
So it is through UCSF.
Okay.
We have sponsored one of them. We have donated 80K there,
Mm.
and rest of the money has gone to patient support. We have supported about 30 different families
Mm.
for their small items. Toward the end, they need a lot of smaller items. It could be a
Gas
iPad
money.
or a gas money
Oh.
for their parents, right?
Okay.
And any of these smaller therapies. So we are paying all those expenses.
Mm.
And unfortunately,
Unfortunately, there are too many
funeral expenses
expenses
they ask
through
for
that.
support.
So, but we are supporting. We are not looking at any of those, and we are supporting patients.
Very good. Very good.
So this year we have had at least 5 different events throughout this year, and the first one was actually a fundraising event that was a fundraising drive with Wingstops.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mithil
Yeah,
loved
Mithil.
chicken wings.
Oh,
That was one of
yeah.
his
Oh, yeah.
favorite.
Kids like
Yeah,
So,
that
yeah.
was an interesting one. And the second one is actually, she was invited to Dallas Kannada Kuta. It is Mallige is the name of that Kannada Kuta, and she was invited there, and she gave a talk,
Okay.
and we have raised funds through that.
Yeah, and that organization, they sponsor, they pick one non-profit organization and they
Okay.
do fundraising throughout their year.
Yeah. Oh,
So
Yeah.
that's
last
amazing.
year they picked
Yeah.
the Prasad Foundation,
Oh,
and
very
they're
good.
still the fundraising drive is going on.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Rachna, our daughter, who is actually in UCLA final year right now,
Mm.
Okay.
she has a dance team called Raga, And
Nice.
those Tara, sorry,
Tara.
Tara, and they are a bunch of kids put together a show, and they have raised quite significant amount of
Very
money. For
good.
the
Go
foundation.
Tara.
Yeah, Tara, UCLA Tara,
Yes.
yes.
This is the first year we were part of Sevathon. ICC conducts has
Correct.
Sevathon as their main.
Correct.
So we have we were participated in that event. I think they have various marathons, yogathon, danceathon,
Uh-huh.
and we have signed up many what
Runners.
runners,
Very
dancers, and all.
nice, yeah.
And we have raised fund through that one.
Okay.
At the end of it, it is a very humbling experience for us to receive a Spirit Award for the first time.
Oh,
Very
congratulations.
nice.
Yes.
Kudos.
Yeah.
So we also had a fundraising event with the San Jose Giants baseball team.
Oh, wow.
It is not only this year, we have signed up for the next year as well.
Okay.
That comes in May.
Okay.
So that is that also. This is not only raising the fund. We want to create awareness for DIPG. There are many times when I talk to any of the newer people, right? They ask what is DIPG,
Correct.
right? Diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma. Not many understands that one. Then I have to tell them probably in a understandable way is a brainstem cancer, right? It starts from the brainstem. So that is how I go through. The last
Mithil was a very good baseball player, pitcher, and he was the ace pitcher for his team. So we just thought this is a nice way of kind of embracing that and also having an event in his
Okay.
memory. So
Okay.
that we do it it's a park packer program. It's a very good avenue to raise funds, and the Giants do a very good job of giving back to the community.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So yeah.
the last year, as last year also, we had a year-ending gala, right? Last year we had a successful one. We raised about 60K through only in the gala. This year also we have December 15th as our second annual fundraising gala. This is in San Jose Country Club,
Okay.
and we have an Indian band coming, Ragas and Blues. It'll be fun.
Yes,
So,
Nishant and
Nishant.
Madhusudan,
Yes.
Yeah.
Konal,
Yes.
it's their
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raga and Blues,
Yes.
for doing
Yes.
this for Mithil Prasad
Exactly.
Foundation.
Yes.
Appreciate
Yes,
it.
appreciated,
Yeah.
yes.
This year, this is on December 15th between 4 to 8 p.m. Please join us. I'll come to that part, inviting part of it. And the goal for this gala is to raise about 100K.
Okay.
Last year was 60K this year. The entire last year goal was to raise 100K, and we have done a little more than that. This year we have about 25% over last year's 125 in total we want to do. So we are on our way. So the last year-ending gala is something very important for us. Please join us. So this is going really well at this point, and we have few more tickets left. But I would want all of you are our friends to join the event.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that is very important to support Mithil Prasad Foundation, because what I read was that only 4% of funding goes to pediatric cancer, and all of them, not just one,
Yeah.
which is very minuscule,
Yes.
and more needs to be done, because the survival rate for this is almost zero.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've talked about DIPG, but I'd love for you to just go a little more deeper, so that people know exactly what it is, and what are the symptoms of it, just to educate them.
Okay, so DIPG is diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a tumor in the brain stem. Brain stem as such is a very small area, the pontine area, and so it's deadly because you cannot surgically remove anything, and we don't know how much of medicine gets into the brain stem because of the blood-brain barrier in general to any part of brain. So it's a very and this disease specifically comes to children, and that's the horrible part of it.
Between the ages
between the ages of 4 to 11 is the kind
Yeah.
of, but we have seen some young adults also get this.
Mhm.
Actually, there is, I mean, by the time you find this out, it's already too late. So there's no, they don't say about stages and stuff like this for this disease. So because Mithil did not have any symptoms that we could, I mean, the only one which kind of led us to take him to a doctor was his walk was a little bit off.
Mhm.
Lot of other kids have like their eyesight, it's double vision and things like that. So that's the only way we came to know was he was walking a little bit off, and then luckily, I mean, we were in India, but then we've got directed to going to a neurosurgeon. This can very easily be misdiagnosed too, right? Because if he was sitting and talking like this to you, you wouldn't know that something was wrong, right? And luckily we had a neurosurgeon in our family, and then he said, okay, he didn't tell us much, but he said, go back, go to in US there are a lot more good treatments, and that's pretty much it. So there's no symptoms as such. I mean, this is in terms of he didn't complain of any headache or any of those. The only thing was his walk was a little bit off. I mean, in retrospect, when you think about it, a couple of maybe a few weeks or month back, we used to go on walks, and he hated going on walks. I mean, he would ride on a bike or something. So he would do all kinds of goofy stuff while walking because he just wanted to entertain himself. And although the three of us would just go, so we thought in his walk he was walking a little bit like this, and we were like, why are you doing, we were like,
he was doing purposely.
He was purposefully and things like that. That was, he was very goofy by nature. So, kind of, this is all again thinking back, and we were trying to retract and say, when did it start, what happened, kind of a stuff. And that's all we could think of, right? So we didn't know when we were told he has, I mean, this is DIPG, we said, what? But the thing is, they tell you right up front it's terminal, and that's the most difficult part for anybody. I mean, we were like, what does that mean? You can't comprehend such a shock kind of a stuff. Having said that, the disease itself, right now there's only radiation that kind of is an approved form of treatment for DIPG, because Mithil did get almost back to the way he was after radiation. He started pitching, practicing with Prasad and all of that. Right? Almost normal. We thought, oh, okay, maybe we have beaten this kind of thing. But doctors knew better, and they were like, this is kind of a honeymoon period. So they were kind of course, we didn't want to believe any of those, right? I mean, you'll never. So that's it. But they tried different medications, on immunotherapy and all of those novel kind of treatment that they could offer us. He himself did everything he could he was like, okay, whatever you say, I'm up, I'll do it, kind of a kid. But then the heart-wrenching part is that the kid is cognitively alert through this whole process, and towards the end they start losing ability one by one, because it's in the brainstem or things pass through that. You start losing the ability to walk, like pick things, I mean your arms, and basically talk and eat and everything. So that's, I mean, thinking of that kind of a thing, it's I always wonder what should have been going through his mind, right? Because he was a smart kid to figure out what's happening to him. We had told him about his what it was, but not about the prognosis. I mean, we didn't have. So he put 2 + 2 and he figured it. I mean, I think he had figured it out. So no symptoms as such, but the disease itself is very deadly. Inoperable and things like that. Of course, for us, we couldn't think of any other way other than, I mean, he became very empathetic towards kids like him, right? He was like, Mom and Dad, you have to do more to kids like me, right? So we every time I sit in a corner and kind of grieve, he almost I can hear him say, "Get up now. There's a lot of work to do." Right.
Wow.
So because he used to during his sickness became very empathetic, and he was like never complain, but always thinking about others.
Very
Right.
nice.
So that's what pushed us, and then for us, this is the only way we could, see as a way
Yes.
forward.
Yeah.
All three of us, including our daughter Rashna, we said, okay, let's do go and form this foundation and help the community, with whatever we can. And as you were saying, Namrata, about the funding, it's actually
Yes.
0.1% of the
Oh,
total
wow.
cancer fund.
Oh,
Okay, so it
nothing.
is, it's all maybe a numbers game, right? But when people say it's a rare disease, I almost feel knots in my stomach because it's about 400 kids in the US.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's about
That's-
one every day
Yeah.
becomes
Yes.
changes kind
And
of
yes.
and it's about 10,000 worldwide.
Wow.
And the way we would like to put it is, let's say if the kid lives to about 70 years,
Mm.
that's
Yes.
about 700,000 years of
Yes.
lives
Lost.
lost, right? If you put it in that perspective, it's a big number. But having said all that, what kind of encourages us, we attend some conferences where researchers share what's going on and things like that, and we have a doctor on our board, Dr. Nick Vitanza,
Okay.
who also updates us on what's going on, the latest things in the IPG. So there are a lot of exciting studies in immunotherapy or combination. They're trying to figure out combination drugs that can help in this, and also there is this CED where you directly kind of put the medication to the pawns, through surgical insertion to the pawns, and things like that, delivering medicine directly there, and
Okay.
things like that.
Okay.
And what really excites us is that there has been some steps taken to do collaborative study among researchers,
Very
right?
good.
That is really encouraging because
Yes.
first of all, you want to know what are the studies that don't work, right? Early on, so
Yeah.
that you don't put patients through.
Yes.
They have started. I think there's a big effort going on to put. I think it's not enough, but at least there's a start in terms of collaborative
Sharing
efforts and sharing clinical data and things like that. And of course, there are wonderful dedicated researchers, but they need money, right, to carry on. So that's where I think philanthropic organization like ours come into picture, and of course we couldn't do it without the support of the community.
Correct.
To take us there, and that's why I think we are here today to talk about not only our foundation, which is basically talking about all the people that support us. It's through them that we are able to kind of provide this funding to the DIPG research community, and also to patients, patient care who need the most during this very horrible time.
I was reading just today. I read the article, and it was saying an international team of researchers has discovered a new pathway that may improve success against an incurable type of child's brain cancer. And the study results suggest that scientists have identified a unique way to disrupt the cellular process that contributes to DIPG. And I'm like, okay, there is something, some breakthrough going on.
Yeah.
And I was also reading, I didn't know Neil Armstrong's daughter also died of DIPG.
Yes.
That was 1962.
Yes.
Yes.
And fast forward about 50, 60 years.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's the
Same.
same.
Process is the same.
Prognosis is
Yeah.
the same.
Right?
We
So-
have to change that.
So we have to change that. Yes. Foundation like yours and
Yeah.
people in the community like us and everyone
Yeah.
have to reach out and get the resources and ask for more. It has to be a government funding,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about anything else you want to add, and then tell us about the gala.
Okay. You can start with the game.
I think you had the list of clinical studies what we.
No, the way if just for folks to know, what we do is we do have Dr. Nick Vitanza, who's on our board, and other doctors like Dr. Mueller. They kind of shortlist a list of studies for us, to look into, to figure out where things are being done, and the board itself kind of votes. We don't include the doctor in our voting process, so he's
Okay.
not biased, right? But they give inputs, and then we kind of on the board, we go through those studies and each one gets to vote, and then we talk about it in more detail. If you want, if we have questions about those, we ask the doctors to get more information. We specifically definitely want to direct more funding towards clinical research that is more collaborative in nature. That is,
Yes.
I think that's what we're going to do, because I know, in research community, it's each one wants to, have their own this one, but from a patient perspective, honestly, I can be very brutal. I don't care, but find a cure,
Yes.
whatever way it is, right?
Yes.
It's kids' lives. It's the things we are talking about. So that's why I think we are definitely. We are more focused on finding those. Hopefully, I mean, we're in the process. We have sent out the survey. We are in the process of finalizing what we want to support next year. We will announce that once we have all the data ready for us.
Okay.
But one of the key principles that we are looking at is it being collaborative.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
So tell us about the gala.
And the gala, I think I already mentioned most of it. This is going to be on December 15th
Yes.
in San Jose Country Club, not far from here, between 4 to 8 p.m. The goal of this fundraising is to raise 100K. We are on our path. We are making good progress there. So there are few tickets left at this point. I want all of you to purchase, and as a part of creating awareness, we need new people
Yes,
in
definitely.
in the audience, right? So definitely that is our focus, and we have reached out to at least 40% of new people, and we
wonderful.
are making a good progress
Very good,
there.
very good.
If you can go on our website to purchase ticket. If your company has a matching fund, please pledge on our website and donate. Go through their company website and donate through that. So that way the impact is double in most of the cases.
Okay.
So we will give them a complimentary ticket. That is how we are trying, and also raffle tickets.
Okay.
We have lot of raffle prizes
Very
came in,
nice,
and
okay.
People have donated generously to our
Very
cause in
nice.
terms of, so we definitely want to, as I said, this gala is in December is Mithil's birthday month, so he would be 16 this year. So it's a way of not only, supporting the community and also having a good time. It's almost like celebrating his life.
Yes.
Very
Um,
true.
so,
Very
so
true.
that's what we
And,
want to do. And of course,
we have an
Raga and
entertainment,
blues,
raga and blues, and also we have
Yeah.
another steel drummer
Okay.
named
Yes.
Tim.
yeah.
He's going to entertain
Entertain us during
Oh.
the cocktail hour and
Very
things
good.
like that.
Wonderful.
So,
Looks like a wonderful
Yes.
time.
Mhm.
And viewers, go to mithilprasadfoundation.org.
Yeah.
How do you spell Mithil? MITHIL. Prasad, PRASAD. Foundation.org. Please donate, even if you can't make it to the gala. They'd love to have you there, because it's a celebration of their son's memory. So do visit. It is going to be a wonderful time, and for a wonderful cause.
Yes.
Like you've already heard that there's barely any funding that is going to DIPG. So to both of you,
And just to add to that,
Yes.
it's also year end. A lot of people will be
Yeah.
looking for a cause, philanthropic cause to support,
okay.
through
Exactly.
for their, whatever, towards taxes and stuff
Yes.
like that. So
Uh-huh.
please do consider our foundation as your philanthropic cause for this year and years to come. So
exactly, yes, that is
Okay.
a very good point. And it is a time for giving.
Yes.
And also being thankful. मेरा थोड़ा personal सवाल है, and I'm sure your son Mithil would be, looking down upon you and saying great job, mom and dad, because you both are doing amazing work for DIPG. My question is how, you lost him in November of 2016. So what keeps you going, and how do you find the balance in your life and happiness? I always see both of you very positive, with cheerful vibes. So I think just for our viewers, if you could just give a little bit of your personal
Your-
a little bit, yes.
Yeah, it is difficult, but as she mentioned, towards the end, Mithil was very empathetic, right? So he wanted us to do something more, and that is always ringing.
Yes.
Right. So that is one of the probably motivating factor for me personally. And if somebody asks me what is happiness, probably that is not the right question to answer for us. Probably giving is everything for us at this point. So that is how we wanted to move forward. So if you listen to that, or if that is there in your back of your mind, then you'll always try to do good. And we are trying something. The way you think about 400 kids are dying every year,
Yes.
right? So we have to do something for them.
10,000 worldwide.
Yeah, 10,000 worldwide. So that keeps us going. So as I said, we want to see a cure for this disease during our lifetime. I don't know how long I'll live, but
Amen to that, yeah.
And
Things are going,
for
yes.
me, yes, all that he said, plus Mithil's personality,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I think I've told this story before. I don't mind telling it another time. He had come to my workplace one time, and Rachna had written "Just keep smiling" on a post-it, and I had put it there. I said, "Hey, Akka has written this. Why don't you write something for me?" Without blinking his eye, he writes, "Live life blissfully," right? It almost feels like at that point, yes, I know you're great. How did you come up with this? He was 10 and a half. Every time we have framed it, and every time I see that poster, it almost feels like be in the present, right? And
Yes.
and then enjoy things around you, appreciate the small things, right?
Yes.
It's almost like, yes, I mean, the grief, the thing, I mean, I don't think anything can, cure that. It'll never go. It's a part of us now.
Absolutely.
We carry that, but at the same time, I want to make sure that people around us, I also we don't want to be a burden to anybody just because of the grief we have. Because I feel the way Mithil was during his sickness, he never complained.
Yeah.
Such a horrible thing. I can count on my fingers how many times he has asked me, why me? Why at such an young age? That's all he asked, right? He never complained. He would always be thinking about us. I mean, he one time asked me, he said, "Mom, it must be so hard for you and Appa to see me like this." He's not thinking about himself. He's thinking about, how we are feeling,
Yes.
right? So,
What an amazing.
I mean, if he could carry himself being that young and so much with I don't know what the word to describe how he was during that time. I mean, we have videos of him dancing and doing all sorts of things, and if his left hand was not working, he would say, "Let me see what my right hand can do." So that is how he was. So we carry, I mean, that thing is with us all the time, and that's why I feel like if we are what you described or how we are, it's because of we carry his spirit, we carry that
Wonderful, and it shows. It shows.
Yes, it shows.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for the answer. I know
it's staggering that only 10% of children with DIPG survive for 2 years following their diagnosis, and less than 1% survive for 5 years. Then the median survival time is 9 months from diagnosis.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you went through too.
Yeah,
It was just
Mithil,
very short.
he battled it for about 16 months.
16 months.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And
on an average, it is about 7 years.
Okay.
Median age.
Yeah.
Mithil
when they're
was
diagnosed.
11 and a half when he was diagnosed, and it is kind of, we thought probably he's out of this.
He's an outlier.
Outlier.
All kinds
Yeah,
of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You want to hold on to the
Hope, yeah.
smallest
Yes.
strand of hope,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But
Yeah.
the statistics are just heart wrenching. It's horrible. Yeah.
So we've talked about the gala, we've
Yeah.
talked about your story, we've
Yeah.
talked about what is making a difference now in a way that it's out there. I mean, the more we reach out,
Yes.
the better, right? It's the resources which we need for this cancer.
Yeah.
And now, while, like you said, that there are about 300 annually, 300 plus 400 now, actually, the kids who die every year from this tragic illness. And so, why we have to continue doing more to support DIPG and research and then the patients, right? Why do you think? I mean, yes, it is taking lives away, but there's so many cancers, like there's so many kids' cancers, so many other cancers.
Yeah.
So why DIPG?
Yeah. So I mean, I've heard some of the researchers say if you cure this cancer, if you cure DIPG, you'll cure cancer, kind of a thing.
Okay.
There are a combination of things that makes this a deadly disease, which is, you need a lot of different kinds of studies to even find out. One thing is there's very little specimen, right, to actually study.
Correct.
Right. I mean, we donated Mithil's brain to research after he passed away, because for us, I mean, if even it can help somewhere, somebody, something, advance in finding a cure. It's that's what we were thinking. So there's not much of specimen. The location of the tumor, the age of the of people affected by this, all of this makes it a combination of hard to treat, but at the same time, we can only make advance if there are research. There is more research. There is more. I believe leukemia was almost similar about 15 years back, right? Not much research, not much awareness, and things like that. And only due to philanthropic support and things like that, now it's one of the curable childhood. So there is that. When I look at that, that's how we want to kind of. That's how it's going to make a difference in the IPG also. The more people are aware, the more they say, yes, I want to support this. And also the way this disease kind of, the kid as I said, is cognitively alert and starts losing ability. That is a very, very hard thing to see, and it's I don't know how to describe it. So, I mean, of course, as you said, there are many, people have different causes they support, right? I mean, everything is important, I'm not saying that. But for me, it's like, of course, it's very personal, but it also affects kids at such a young age. And I feel, since it's hard to treat and hard to, there's a lot of resources you have to put in research, maybe this can find ways for other if you find a cure for this, I'm sure we will understand a lot. I mean, we can maybe cure cancer as the research said, right? Because as I said, blood-brain barrier, you don't know the medication efficacy and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of things that to be done. But having said that, there are dedicated researchers who are going above and beyond, doing what it takes, kind of, to find this cure, and spreading awareness is the first thing, right? And then, when they see, then people are more, yes, I want to do this, I want to support, and people say, oh, this is my small contribution. Nothing is small, right? Nothing is small, right?
Anything is a big help.
A lot of people have, oh, if I give $50, what difference is that going to make? 500 people say $50, it's a lot of kind of thing. So please, do what you can. But one thing I really want to talk about our foundation is, we are 100% volunteer run with zero administrative cost. We as a family bear a lot of administrative costs. So there's nothing that the people donate. It all goes to the mission of the foundation.
Is it a 501c?
Yes, it is a non-profit fund, so it's 100% tax deductible whatever they donate. So
people come to their gala on December 15 from 4 to 8 p.m. at San Jose Country Club, and the tickets are available on Mithil Foundation, mithilprasadfoundation.org.
Definitely. And we got you a story of hope, strength, and a lot of courage today, and of DIPG. It's a disease which strikes the heart of childhood, and it is a disease in desperate need of a cure. DIP is the #1 pediatric brain tumor, 60 years with the same prognosis, 9 months median survival time. Please, let's change this prognosis. Donate, go to mithilprasadfoundation.org, and in this season of giving, I think this is a great organization to support. We would love to, thank you so much, Sarva and Prasad, for coming on to Dil Ki Aawaz.
And thank you both. You guys have been amazing supporters of our organization.
Anytime.
This
you
is
guys,
our smallest part we can do
thank
for
you
you.
so much. Really appreciate and see you at the gala. So,
Yes,
Yeah.
and before we
Very
go, I'll
nice.
just say Henry Ford said, when everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it.
Yes.
Very
So,
true. Very true.
This will be a good ride.
Yeah.
And people, please support them, please, and visit their foundation, learn more about it.
Yeah.
The learning more about it, that also is important, so
Yeah,
that
and
you
we-
can talk to people and say, okay, you know what, this is this.
And if people want to give and they want to know more, I mean, we are willing to go wherever and talk and, you know, spread awareness. So, you know.
Yes, if you have an event where they can come
Yes.
and talk
Yeah.
about DIPG, please connect with them. You know where to go.
Yeah.
So thank you once again. Thanks for joining.
Yes.
Till then,
Yeah.
दिल की आवाज दबाइए नहीं भड़काइए.
Thank you.